samurai sword, the meant to blade, cut through flesh and bone. Though my mind at peace.
Hey yo, so what's going on YouTube? Snafu here, back with a brand new video. And today I'm excited to present a new series that I'm starting on the channel called A Hit of Nostalgia. And basically what I'm going to be doing with this series is I'm going to be going back and playing some old games and reviewing them and seeing if they still hold up in 2024. And how this is going to work is I'm going to go through some categories like story, gameplay, controls, etc. I'm going to talk a little bit about them. I'm going to give them a rating. And then after that, I'm going to talk about what I really liked about the game, what I disliked about the game. And then I'm going to tie everything together and see if it's a game that I could recommend in 2024. And I was thinking to myself, like, what better way to start this series off with a game that I grew up playing, that I rented multiple times from my local video store. And it was also a launch title for the PlayStation 2. And that is The Bouncer for the PS2. When it started off with the story, there's three bouncers, Sion, Cole, and Bolt, and they're working at the bar, doing their job, lounging around and whatnot. And then this girl named Dominique shows up to the bar because she has a present for Sion to celebrate a year of being a bouncer. And as soon as she's about to give Sion the present, these ninjas break through the roof of the window, and they're called the Mikado Group, and they pretty much end up kidnapping her, and that's what sets off the story. You have to try and get her back. And that's the gist of it, with just a few twists and turns here and there along the way. When it comes to the story, I feel like it's a pretty campy story, over the top. Doesn't take itself too serious. So, it's not too bad. It's nothing amazing. So, when it comes to the story, I think I'm going to give it 3 out of 5 bouncers. Now let's get into the gameplay. It's a beat 'em up where you go through different scenarios. Each character has their own storyline, so there's different perspectives. When it comes to the fighting and everything, I will say it's pretty slow and kind of wonky. There's also ragdoll physics, which I didn't hate because it made for some funny moments. But I know it might be annoying for some people because let's say, your teammate gets hit and because of the ragdoll physics they fall or something, and then they bump into you, you also get hit and you get knocked down into the ragdoll physics. So it's kind of, like I said, it's wonky, but it's kind of funny at the same time. So that's why I didn't really hate it. You can also level up your character, so you can increase your life bar, your defense, you can unlock new moves. So there's some replayability here if you want to max out your character and unlock all the moves. There's also a survival mode where you can use any character that you unlock through the story, so that's pretty cool. And there's also a versus mode, and I do remember having a good amount of fun with this back in the day when I used to play with my cousins. So overall, when it comes to the gameplay and everything, I think I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 bouncers as well. Next up, we have graphics. I don't have too much to say about this, but I do like them. I think they look pretty good for today. It has nice facial animations. I like some of the cutscenes that look pretty decent. So when it comes to the graphics, I'm going to give it like a 4 out of 5 bouncers. Okay, now let's get into the controls, because this is where I have my biggest issue with the game. Let's talk about the mechanics a little bit. You have your low attacks, your middle attacks, your high attacks. You can block. You have jumping attacks. You can do like this special move with the R2 button. Like your teammate will do like a certain prompt, or they will say something, and when you press R2, you do like this special move and it goes into like this little cutscene. So that's pretty cool. When it comes to targeting an enemy that you want to fight, it's kind of difficult because like when there's a lot of enemies on screen, it's like there's no real button to lock on, so you just kind of have to face an opponent, and it kind of goes all over the place. And when you're trying to fight, just be going all over the place. So that's kind of like my biggest issue right there. And I'm gonna get more into it when I get into my dislikes of the game. But yeah, overall, when it comes to the controls, I gotta say, I'm gonna give it like a 2 out of 5 bouncers. Yeah, I think I'm gonna give it a 2. And for the last thing on my list is sound and music. It's you and me behind this couch, homie. So when it comes to the sound of everything, I think it sounds pretty decent. No real major complaints there. Same thing with the music. I mean, it's okay. I mean, there's nothing really that sticks out to me. I didn't really like love the music or didn't hate it. I thought it was just like whatever, So when it comes to the music and sound, I think I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5 bouncers. Now let's get into my likes and dislikes. I think this is gonna be my favorite part of the video. I think my favorite thing about the game is the character designs. They remind me of like Final Fantasy characters. Sion, he looks like fucking Sora from Kingdom Hearts, so I thought that was always pretty cool. And another big highlight about this game for me is Cole's voice. He's voiced by Steve Blum. He voices Spike Spiegel from Cowboy Bebop, Mugen from Samurai Champloo, 2 of my favorite anime of all time, and characters. Forgot this dude's name too.
keeping busy, Co?
Hey, if we're not doing anything, it means the bar's doing just fine, right, Sion?
That's fucking Spike's voice. Spike Spiegel's voice. I forgot about
Morning.
that. So like hearing his voice, I was like, yo, like it tripped me out because back then I didn't know who he was at the time. So hearing him now, I was just like, yo, that's fucking sick. Now let's get into my dislikes. Right off the bat, the most annoying thing was when you die and having to go back all the way to the title screen and having to load up, you know, your save file and then starting over again. That shit was so annoying and it happened to me like quite a few times. And I wish you could just retry the encounter instead of having to go all the way back to the menu. Which means also like you would have to save after each encounter, because if you didn't, let's say you do like 5 encounters, right, and you end up dying, you have to start all over and do that shit over again. So that did happen to me like once or twice, and I was like, hell no, we just gotta save. Even though it's annoying, and as you know, because you just want to get to the action, you just want to get to the next encounter. So having to do that, it was just kind of like, it was just slowing the game down more, and it already felt slow because of the gameplay. And we're gonna get into that in a little bit. And another thing that I didn't like that I wish they would have added is like, you know, you being able to interact with the environment, you know, like throwing enemies into cars, into the pool table, into chairs or whatever. But there wasn't any of that. So I feel like it kind of made the game a little more bland, and it just would have added more to it, you know? And like I was saying before about the gameplay, I just wish you could chain moves better. I just wish it had a better flow. Like you could chain some moves, but it just wasn't satisfying. It just would have been cool if you could just, you know, do better, like, you know, if it just had a better flow to it. And another big annoying thing was when it came to the XP. So like, let's say you're fighting a group of enemies, and let's say if your teammate killed that enemy and you didn't get the last hit, you wouldn't get XP. And that was annoying because it would take, you know, it takes some time to unlock, you know, new moves and all that, because the moves are pretty expensive. So that just made it just made it, you know, take longer for you to get new moves, so you would have to, you know, replay it and all that stuff. So I didn't like that, you know, you would have to get the last hit in order to get the XP pretty much. Like, who's on my den? Let me get the XP. Don't kill him, you son of a bitch. And for the last thing that I didn't like about the game is the whole relationship with Sion and Dominique. Thinking about it now, you know, back then I just didn't think about it, but now it's like, you know, Sion's 19, she's 15, and it's just kind of fucking weird. And like every time I would see them interact, sometimes it would just make me cringe. So it's just, you know, it's a pretty weird, you know, with the age gap and everything. But I don't know, maybe that just bothers me, I don't know. But, and yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I think that's everything I have on my notes. Hopefully I didn't forget anything, but overall I will say, like, for me, I do, you know, have, you know, nostalgic memories with this game. I grew up playing it. So for me, like, it was kind of a joy going back to it regardless of its issues. It kind of pains me to say this, but I think it doesn't really hold up for today when it comes to like gameplay and stuff. Graphically, I think it looks pretty decent. Like, it doesn't look bad. But when it comes to gameplay, I don't think it's that good. Like, it's pretty wonky. Like I said, you know, I have my issues with it. I would say if you want to give it a shot, go ahead. But if not, I don't think you're missing out. I don't think it's something you have to go and play, I think. So I think that's my verdict. I think I'm going to say it doesn't really hold up for today. But if you want to give it a shot, go ahead. It wouldn't hurt. But I don't think you're missing out pretty much. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I can't wait to do more of these. It was pretty fun. Especially, you know, going back and playing old games, because it just gives you that nostalgic feeling, and that's why I called it that. Oh yeah, and by the way, I am going to be streaming these games on Twitch. That's what I did with this one, and you know, all future games I'm going to be streaming them on Twitch. So if you guys want to be a part of that, go follow me on Twitch at YoSnafu. You know, shameless plug. And I think that's everything. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment, give me a suggestion of some games I should check out, because you know, I'll be taking recommendations and all that as well. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. All right, take it easy. Peace.
Are you one of those so-called badasses?